Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Sheree. If you're new here, thank you for clicking on this video today. Today's video is about Married at First Sight, season 10, episode 11, I believe. I think that's the right episode. Let's get started. Alright, so this episode, the couples have made it to their 1 month anniversary. And so this episode was all about, them going through the photos, them going through their wedding videos. And I really don't like these episodes because I think they're just boring. Like, we as the viewer has already seen all of this. I don't think they should make it as big of a deal as they do, because it's like we're just rewatching stuff that we've already seen. But that's what this episode was all about. I'm going to skip over Jessica and Austin because they're doing fine. At this point, they're fine in terms of watching TV. They're boring, but in real life, they're doing awesome. Like, this is what you want to see in terms of a healthy relationship and what should develop from being on Married at First Sight. So they're doing fine, so I'm going to skip over them. So we're going to start with Kate and Derrick. And again, they're celebrating their anniversary, but they have gotten into an argument. I think the argument was via text because I think they both were at work. And so they got into an argument because Kate said that she wanted to keep her townhouse. And then that kind of set Derrick off, and he, was in his feelings about that. And Kate was all up in arms about the same thing that she's been on for a while, about how if he doesn't love me within 8 weeks, or he said even 6 months, then how do I know? But you can't control that, Kate. That doesn't mean that you go and do things like you're just not going to work out because he says he's not sure if he can. Like, you guys are working and building on things. Like, you are married. But I also see how, you would want to keep your house. Like, if I owned a house and I went through this experiment, then I would keep my house and use it as a rental property. I wouldn't like completely abandon it or whatever. Because even though, let's say they don't work out, she still has her house. She would just have to live somewhere else until, she get her renters out. But she would still own the property. So, but I do see, what Derrick is, why he would be in his feelings about that as well. But they ended up making up. But he said F you. Now, I didn't like that part. I think there's a healthy way to argue and a non-healthy way to argue, and saying F you is a big no-no. So Derrick, you were wrong for that. So I think she might not have many reasons to be upset, but that is definitely one reason, sir. So, but yeah, they ended up making up over dinner. They ended up, still celebrating and being able to talk about why they were mad, and just making up. So yeah, I still have hope for them. So we'll see. All right, moving on to Brandon and Taylor. There has to be something in the contract that says you have to still show up and appear. But, I feel like one season, one girl, the couple who got like separated right after the honeymoon, because the guy was smoking and she didn't know he was a smoker, and they just had something trickle down and they ended up not being together. She didn't show up for the rest of the season. Brandon, why are you still showing up? There has to be a reason why he's still showing up. So Taylor ended up inviting him to her nail salon appointment. So she's getting her nails done. And he shows up like not really in a good mood, not feeling it, like someone forced him to be there. She ends up apologizing in a card, and he's not feeling it because he still feels like Taylor is just narcissistic. She's just here to do TV, which I partially agree with. And she was like, well, can we just be friends? Do you want to be friends? And he's like, no. And I'm like, if you don't want to be anything, stop showing up. Stop showing up, because every time you show up, that gives her a little bit, if she's genuine, that gives her hope that, you're still actually showing up. Because if you didn't, then she automatically knew. So Brandon, if you're done, you're done. And I get the reasons why you would be done, because I would be out as well. But don't come show up just to be a sourpuss, But yeah. Moving on to Mieka and Mike. Mike, their scenes open up with Mike making breakfast, and he's trying to be cordial, and Mieka's just sitting there like, she's like, why am I here? She just looks tired. She looks over it, and then she says she doesn't like breakfast. I'm like, breakfast is my favorite meal of the day. Who doesn't like breakfast? But she sat there, even if she had a grumpy face on, she sat there and she gave him dry responses, and she would smile every now and then. But I just think that child is over it. I really think she's over it. So yeah, they celebrated their 1 month anniversary, which kudos to them for actually making it, because it's been a ride, with a boat ride, and they exchanged gifts. Mieka gave Mike some ties, which I think she said she knows that he feels his best when he's in a suit. So I think that was a very genuine gift from her. And then he says, and I don't think he had a gift, but he says, and the shady production was playing like this aloof music while he was presenting this, because they already know it's Mike. He could be lying about the entire thing. Is that true? We don't know. We really don't know. He says that. Will they make it there? I don't know. Is it actually a trip to Jamaica somewhere? We don't know, because it might be by hairline. So they just seem like it's no chemistry. Like, it's done, but they're just trying to make it to the end at this point. And it's very dry. It's like, okay, we just doing the movements at this point. So yeah, that was Mike and Mieka. Last and least, Zach and Mindy. So they're going through their stuff. They get to, Zach actually shows up to go skating with Mindy, because Mindy is a skating instructor. And so he shows up for that, does his little thing. They get to dinner, and he brings up something about, you haven't been genuine, you haven't been, true, and insinuates that she's been lying to him about something the entire time, but he refuses to tell her what. Now, that would get underneath my skin, because you can't accuse me of something, but then you don't tell me what it is. How do I even know what you're talking about? She's just sitting there confused. Like, these are tendencies of a sociopath from, what's this, Zach? Because he's playing with her mind at this point. He's been playing. But that's not even the kicker from this episode, y'all. Y'all know y'all watch, but it's just watching him navigate through that and making her think, like, what are you talking about? He's just making stuff up at this point as a way out, because he didn't want to be there in the first place. But then we get to, after that whole debacle at dinner, Mindy gets back to her place, invites him over to go through their wedding photos and stuff. Like, why would you even invite him over, Mindy? Get some self-esteem about yourself. So she invites him over. And then it gets to the point where she asks him, have you been in communication with any of my friends? And he says that he's been in communication with her friend. I think her name is Lindsay. This boy is down here cheating with her friend. Like, they show the flashback of her at wedding day. This girl looks good in 485. Like, it doesn't look like, the model, the IG model type, IG white model type, because there's a difference, that he would typically go for. She doesn't fit that box either. So if I was Mindy, I would be highly offended, because I don't fit it, and then my friend don't fit it, but you're talking to my friend on IG, and then it moved to phone, and you're calling her and then lying about it. Then the kicker is Lindsay is lying too. Like, she's going texting her like, you're not my friend, because what you're saying is not making sense. Somebody is lying. And you're like, oh, I deleted the messages. You don't be deleting messages unless you got something to hide. Okay? Especially, no. Why would you do that? You're lying. So Lindsay is trash. Zach is trash. I thought it was sneaker. I need to turn my ringer off. yeah, this is it's just a mess. Let's see if anything else for them. I don't know. I just think, and next weekend, I think we see next week in the previews, I believe we see somebody finally calling Zach out, because I don't feel like Zach has been called out appropriately by the experts yet, and I want to see that. That is primetime TV. So yeah, that is Zach and Mindy. So yeah. All right, guys. So I think we have we have a whole nother month. I think they have a month because they do 8 weeks, right? So we are at the halfway point at this halfway mark at this point, and yeah, we're gonna be here for another week of shenanigans. So that is it. Let me know what you think about this week's episode in the comments below. And as always, you guys be blessed, and I will see you guys in the next episode.